In the Home Sweet Home portion of Playcare, Kissy Missy is the first Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Easter egg. She sits on a bed hidden behind stacks of boxes, holding a picture of a young girl. There's a child's drawing on the wall next to her showing an image of Kissy. We can make out writing that says, "They'll be friends forever. Kissy doesn't acknowledge you in the room." Some players speculate that Kissy Missy is the girl in the picture. She then became part of the Bigger Bodies initiative. I find it more likely that Kissy was friends with the girl in the picture, since the drawing refers to the girl and Kissy as friends before the fate that befell her. If the child died during the hour of joy, it explains why Kissy works against the prototype rather than help it. And before the next interesting fact, ask you to subscribe to our channel and like under this video, as well as if you are interested in the theme of Poppy Playtime, then go to our channel and watch the rest of the videos. Radios in the nightmare sequence at Home Sweet Home talk about a mangled body found at Elliot Ludwig's home after he died, but one radio next to the words, "Guilt haunts you," carved into the ground, plays an indecipherable message. When played backward, the radio says, "You were meant to be there," repetitively. Then it mentions the date 8/8/1995. Our character worked at Playtime Co. during its active years, and this message tells us that we weren't at work on August 8th, 1995. We missed the hour of joy when the toys killed every human in sight by the prototype's orders, and the speaker in the message isn't happy we escaped death. Image via Mob Entertainment Smiling Critters were Playcare mascots after the company pulled their line of plushies from stores. Catnap's spray caused terrifying hallucinations, after all. Now, the cardboard critter cutouts play audio clips revealing the horrors of Playcare and the process of experimentation on orphans there. Normal audio comes from the critters when you first press the button. Then it devolves into yelling, screaming, and threatening shouts. These cutouts show glimpses into the horrors that other orphans went through to become the rest of the Smiling Critter set. This Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Easter egg is a series of notes found in the schoolhouse. They record what happened to Miss Delight and her sisters after the hour of joy. Catnap locked the teachers in the schoolhouse, which forced them to eat each other to survive. When one remained, she opened the door and made a deal with Catnap and the prototype. Catnap knew the teachers would kill the children for food. Locking them in the school was his best option. It also let him cull them until a single Miss Delight lived. Without any food left, she bargained with Catnap to watch the Playcare and report anything suspicious to him and the prototype. If more teachers lived, Catnap wouldn't have that bargaining power, so his choice kept the kids safe and earned him an ally. In the cave system, a prototype shrine built by Catnap is to the left and below the bridge. Catnap stands with his arms to the side, worshiping the shrine as he does the actual prototype. To him, the prototype is a hero that tried to help Catnap escape Playcare when he was still an orphan named Theo. In the playhouse, Catnap's cell has a gaping hole in the floor that leads to a hidden base with a large bed and dead toys dangling from the ceiling. He wouldn't have been able to build this while Playtime Co. operated, so it shows the difference between his living conditions before and after the hour of joy. Catnap killed the other smiling critters, except for Dogday, who's chained in his cell. Now he has control of the playhouse and made it into his home instead of his prison, eliminating anybody who didn't follow the prototype. He spent more time as Catnap than as a human, so this is as much of a home as he'll ever have as a living toy. This tape sits in front of a TV after the beginning platforming section. It contains a conversation between Claire, a Playcare worker, and one of the Playtime scientists. Claire expresses concern for Marie Payne, who woke up with terrible nightmares after inhaling Catnap's smoke. She wants to check on Marie, but the scientist rejects her request. I thought Marie Payne was an older test subject, not a Playcare orphan. In fact, it makes more sense if she were a Playcare worker like Claire, since Mommy Longlegs shows more attention and care towards the children. While it's an interesting twist, I disagree with the decision given Mommy Longlegs' disposition. Another Poppy Playtime. Chapter 3, Easter Egg sits on the medical bed after Catnap's red smoke causes us to hallucinate. The tape talks directly to the protagonist, welcoming us back to our former place of work and implying that we no longer belong there. Also, the toys have a grudge against us, waiting to kill us when we return. This tape sits in a room with the bottom section of the door open. Use the grab pack to pick it up.
Okay. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Joseph. And I promise you, your friend will be all right.
Then play it on the TV in the room to the left to hear a conversation between a scientist and Joseph, who interrupts him as he's about to experiment on his friend Kevin, who's called Subject 1922. Finally, we take a look at the prototype. We know it absorbs the consciousness of toys we've already defeated. It constantly grows more powerful and knowledgeable. Since we fought 3 of the toys that joined it, I assume it knows much about us and our abilities. However, the prototype is always shown as an entity wanting to save the children at risk of becoming experiments. Poppy plays this tape before you head onto the elevator at the end of the chapter. It contains images of the hour of joy with Poppy narrating her experience of the event and why she thinks the prototype has to be destroyed as a result. This Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, Easter Egg, confirms that the prototype organized the attack on humans that led to Playtime Company's closure. However, we learn it dragged all the bodies to the lowest level of the factory to use as food, and that it didn't differentiate between innocent and guilty, which is the part that Poppy disagreed with the most. The more we learn about Poppy and the prototype, the muddier their motives become. Olli's presence in Chapter 3 has been a hot topic of discussion. We never see him, and the most we learn about him is through dialogue and from Poppy trusting him as our guide.
Wow, you did it! Must feel pretty good. Catnap dead, one big step closer to the prototype.
What can we piece together to determine Olli's identity in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3? When we're heading to Playcare, a phone on the wall rings. The voice on the other side introduces itself as Olli. For the sake of game mechanics, Olli guides us through the Playcare area, helping us restart generators and later defeat Catnap. From the first chapter, we know that the toys revolt against the Playtime Coors workers. One VHS tape contains the sound of screaming in the background while a researcher speaks about the revolt as chaos happens around them. With the release of Chapter 3, we know that the toys still living in the factory call this the hour of joy. Thanks for watching this video. On this all, the following facts will come out very soon, and do not switch!